Long time ago, um, when the people when the people were camping down there by the water, there was a there was a river running in mountains like this. River would be running by, and people would come by and camp over there by the river. Some of them elders would camp a little further from the river than the young folks camp by the river. Elders would be back here a little bit further. And the elders used to tell the ladies, hey, don't go down there by the river by yourself, or go as a group, they said. Go as a group. And they'd be giggling around and they'd be saying, why? And the men folk of the tribe would tell them, don't be swimming near, or don't be swimming too far away into the river, because there's some things in there that you don't know about. To tell them that, and they'd be giggling, especially those ones that had babies that were nursing. They'd tell the ladies, you ladies that nurse, don't be off by yourself, or don't go down to the river by yourself. Don't leave your kids on the side of the bank where you're washing your clothes or stuff like that. Don't do that. Go with some other ladies that will help you do all these things. They'd be talking to the ladies out there and telling them that, especially the ones that were pregnant and those ones that were nursing. And the elders would tell them the same too. Many years ago, when they used to live in them teepees like that. A lot of stories that went around like that. People losing their kids down by the river. Some of them would say, "Yep, no good place." Sometimes they wouldn't camp at the same place by the river, but they'd keep moving down until one day this lady went down there toward in the evening time when the sun was setting over here. She didn't listen. She didn't take nobody with her. She had her baby in her cradle board. Took him down there. Then pretty soon she heard something crying. She was washing her clothes. She was wondering, what is that crying? Kept hearing it, washing her clothes. Looking around by the river. Was wondering, what's that? It sounded like a baby crying, she'd tell herself. Nuru what's yai? She'd go, you baby crying, or a native baby crying some places. Nuru what's you baby crying. Somebody must have left the baby some places, said Noodlewoods. So she decided to go look around the bend there for a little while. Go look around, wondering where that crying was coming from. She left her baby standing right there. There were some willow trees right there. She leaned that baby up against. The river wasn't too far. She was wondering, crying. And she kind of remembered what the elders were talking about. They call them river babies. River babies. They come out in the evening, toward the night, when the evening when the sun was just setting. They'd come out and cry by the river. They would cry like little babies. That's what they were warning them about. The river babies, they call them. Pa'apats. They call them pa'apats. Water babies. That's what they would call them, water babies. And this lady, I guess she wasn't really listening when they were telling the stories about that water baby. Anyway, she went down, put her kid by the willow tree and took off, went to go see where that baby was crying. She said, the baby. So she went around the bend like this. She was wondering. Didn't hear it anymore. All this time, this water baby came out of the water and seen that baby crying over here by the willow tree. That thing came out. Water baby came out of the river like that, crawling up, crawling toward that baby. Took that baby, took it out of the cradle board and ate the baby right there and swallowed it whole like that. Came back. The little baby's mother came back. That water baby was in there. It looked just like the baby she had. It had transformed into that baby. I sat there. And she started going back, washing her clothes by the river, looking around like that. Washing her clothes. That baby then, later on, it started crying. The sun was getting down. She said, I got to go back. So she started rinsing the clothes right there. Whipped it out, put it over here to dry for a little bit. Grabbed her baby. That baby started to cry. So she sat down, got that cradle board in hand like this. She was getting ready to feed it. Getting ready to feed that native lady. Buckskin dress, moccasins and everything. Baby had a big old cradle board like that laying in there. And that thing had tied itself up in there. Looked like a little baby's arm sticking out like this. It's crying. These people that heard that baby crying, they were looking around the camp. But they didn't. They thought everybody was back at the camp except for that one lady. So they didn't pay it no mind. So she sat down and breastfed that baby. The water baby was inside that cradle board and she didn't know it. So what it did was it sucked the mom's breast right off of her on both sides. Then the husband was starting to worry, got that torch because it got late. Said, my wife's not back. She went down to the river. Told the other men folk, let's go down there. They looked around that river all the way around like that. Up and down, finally they found her by that willow tree. Her cradle board still in her arms like this. They said, I know what happened. So finally, when they pried that cradle board out of her arms, they had already warned the ladies, don't go down to the river alone. That pop, it's going to get you. The water baby's going to get you if you go down there by yourself. And that's what it fed on. It fed off the ladies. It fed off the ladies because it was a baby crying. It fed off the breast of the lady's milk. They found that lady like that with no breast. The cradle board still in her arms. The baby was gone too. So the pop, which that water baby, ate that baby and transformed into that baby in order to feed on the lady's breast. They already had given the ladies a warning. The elders had given the ladies a warning to stay away from the river at night. Don't go down there and do it. Well, do your stuff in the daytime. But this lady, I guess, she wasn't listening. They tried to warn him about that water baby down there that cries like a baby. He's crying like a baby down there. That's how some of the Ute ladies, they were scared to go to the river, go out there. That's how they told them, that's how they told them, ladies, stay away from the river at night or in the evening. Don't go down there. Try to tell them, warn them already. It even goes, see how it goes for the adults too. It's like that. Sometimes us adults don't listen. We do the things that we're told not to do. We still do it. Then when we find out, it's too late. We've already done this. The elders try to tell us that. Don't do this because they've done it before. They try to pass on the warnings to each and every one of us, even though we're adults, young adults than elders. We still do the things that we're told not to do. I don't know why that is. We don't listen. We say we got ears. We don't listen to what the adults tell us, what our elders are telling us. Don't do that. And to this day and age, we're still not listening to our elders out there. Sometimes our elders they can see into the future. The Creator gives them that vision. So they try to tell us, hey, you guys don't do that. Even though they're adults. Young adults are the same way to their mom and dad too. They don't listen. We end up someplace we're not supposed to. So the elders, they try to teach us the things that they've been through, so we won't have to pull the things, so we don't have to do the same things that they did many years ago. Even though they didn't have cars, they didn't have the modern things that they have today. This day and age, these stories, they still combine with what it is today. We go down to the supermarket. Sometimes, what happens over there? Something happens. Even though if we're adults, it still happens. And the elders, they tell us these things. No matter how we look at it, no matter where we are. That's why it's just best to do the things that you need to do in the daytime, so you won't get caught up in the evening or anything like that. Do everything in the daytime. That's what they say. The adults, sometimes they say that, the elders. And it's good to listen. It's good to hear the word when they say that. They talk about all these things that here, So these things that, it's been taught over and over. It's like a cycle, starting one end, then it ends at another. Well, I'm glad to have heard the elders talk about these stories of the old, just like the Ba'apots and the dove that never came home. These things, listen to. It's happening to this day and age too. Still, no matter how we look at it, we're not too far from it. So everything is all in a circle.